Well, the old Torino is cold. It's a cold box. Ain't got no heat in it. And it also doesn't have a heater box, as you can see here. This is where the heater box should go, but it was just a giant rusty mess, so I yanked the whole thing out when I got it. Now it's come time for winter, so it's time to do a makeshift heater box. So, I already went to the auto parts store, found one about the size of that inlet. So what we're gonna do is, I already got the fan in here, wired in so that it works. And see that duct work there? It's got a nice little square flange on it. So it gets sheet metal put together to mount a heater core, just a generic heater core that I found that was about the same dimensions. And then we'll use this generic, this is like $20 fan that I took the swivel off of, the little clip mount. Just a 12-volt fan. Here's the switch, so just on and off. And then have that mounted on the bottom. And have heat in the car again. So let's get down there and put the sheet metal thing together and get it put together and have a hillbilly heater box. Alright, so here it is. Just an inlet. I wanted to make sure that it was flat so that when it mounts it goes like this. And then my hoses come out of the firewall and into here, inlet outlet. A lot of them come out like this or sideways, whatever, but I wanted the ones that were flat. So I just got on Advanced Auto Parts and AutoZone and all them and just looked until I found one that was in stock. I could just go grab and pick up, so I could get this done today, because it's been getting down in the 40s here in Ohio lately in mid-October. So getting cold, and if it was just me, probably could push it off for a little bit longer, but I haul my kids around in that thing too, believe it or not. So gotta get this bad boy gotta get this thing to have some heat. I kind of forgot to record, but so this is what we came up with. Just had some old sheet metal in a pile sitting around from an old shed my dad had, and I kind of just whistled this together, went off the dimensions of this. So this is what it'll be. Go like this. Okay. And then, of course, I got some holes there for the screws. So it'll screw to this flange here. That doesn't have any cores going through it or anything, or any water jackets or anything. So just screw to this flange, 4 screws. Go like that. That's the back side. Just kind of, like I said, this is really just whistled together. This is not anything that I'd be proud really to show anybody and say I'm a fabricator or anything like that. Just something that's going to work. So that's it. And then I measured the fan, cut it out, cleaned up the edges a little bit, drilled some holes. The way all I'll do is zip tie the fan to this, and that'll hold that on, and it's stand off. I measured it so it'd stand off enough without touching the core or vibrating or anything like that on it. And then figure out a way to attach it to the ductwork in the car. So let me get this screwed on and get her going. So get that about centered. Mark the holes. Oops. And mark this hole. Okay, 3rd time's the charm. And mark this hole. There's a dot. Okay, do this one-handed and really mess it up. Great. This is not a one-handed job. There you go. Keep poking holes in it. There we have one makeshift heater box. Now we just need to add the fan and get it mounted and test it out. But then we will have heat. That's it. Hillbilly special. And just zip this down. Got the fan in already, like you saw. I got the heater box heater box, and attach this with completely permanent zip ties. Why? See if I can get this SOB up in here. Oh, that was actually pretty easy. So, where's that at? There we go. Look at that. Look at that. Would you just look at that? How great is that? Okay, what's this thing? All right, and then probably just some magic zip ties or something to hold that on. Call that a day. But the only other thing I see is this hose here. See how that's like a lot bigger? Cut that down to here so that I'm on this diameter, not big boy. So do that and then fix this thing on. But here, let's test the fan real quick. Okay. Switch. Fan blowing. Not a great demonstration. Woo, airflow. Not a hurricane, but it's there. All right, got that cut off really crappily, but I got it all filed down with a file, so it's got no sharp edges on the outside, so it won't cut open the hose. So let's get this thing zipped up in there and get the hoses on, get some water in it. All right, there's the finished product. Look at that, moving the whole heater box. I mean, it could probably use a little tape around there to get, keep the air from escaping around here, around the sides and stuff. But it's gonna more than do what I needed to, which is act as a heater and a defroster for my car, which right now it has none. So anything is better than it was, and I think this will do just fine for a while. And may revise that later. But like I said, it is more than good enough for this old turd. Just anything I can do to keep it on the road. So there it is, 12-volt fan, which I think was like 20 bucks, and this heater core, which I wasn't happy about, was like 35. But there you go, we got a whole new heater box and some old sheet metal and some Tech screws. And all I did was run some zip ties around the box because it's got a flange all the way around the side, and then ran zip ties around here on each side all the way around through these zip ties to hold them in place, and then a zip tie around there to hold that, keep it from slipping off the side, both sides, keep it mounted. And then see if I can do this. Keep on, fan on, heat. All right, now to hook the hoses up. All right, hoses are on under the dash. Now we just got to do them in the engine bay, reconnect everything, and fill it up with water, leak test it, and check for heat. All right, got the car fired up, got it filled with water, got the air out, got all the hoses hooked up under the engine bay and on the heater core. No drips. We are, see that, up to temperature now. Turn this bad boy on. Heat! Let me get a therminizer. All right, see our ambient temperature here. Is this lens dirty? Our ambient temperature here in the car is 64.5 or so. Put this up here. Great footage here. And look at that baby climb. Shee-wee. 90 degree air, 91, 93, 90, yeah, climbing. 100 degrees. We have heat. Hillbilly heater box. It cost me like 50 bucks. Could have cost me a heck of a lot less if I just would have pulled a heater core out of something I already had, but it's feeling lazy and needed heating this thing. Like I said, getting too cold. There we are, look at that. 110 degrees already. That'll keep you warm. All right. All right, then. There it is, everything hooked back up. The old beastie here. Ugh. Till next time. Look at that hornet's nest on my house. Bald-faced hornets.